In this video, we're going to discuss the Skywalker family tree from the Star Wars legends. So, in the Star Wars universe, the Skywalker family was a Force-sensitive human bloodline whose first known member was Shmi Skywalker. This family contributed members to both the Old and New Jedi Orders as well as to the ranks of Sith Lords. Through several generations, the Skywalker family remained extraordinarily prominent in galactic affairs and had a significant impact on major historical events for over 150 years. So the Skywalker family starts with Shmi Skywalker. Shmi was born in 72 BBY. At the age of 6, Shmi and her parents embarked on a space voyage to the Outer Rim territories, where they were captured by pirates and sold into slavery. Shmi had a difficult childhood, taken from one system to another by several masters while serving as a house servant. Upon reaching adulthood, she was dropped from house servant status and forced into cleaning work. While some of these masters were cruel, others were kind, who taught Shmi valuable technical skills. Around this time, Shmi discovered that she was pregnant and gave birth to a son she named Anakin. Shmi would say that her son was conceived without a father, but she could not explain how it happened. Nevertheless, she gladly accepted his birth and raised him. Later she realized that Anakin was born through the will of the Force. 3 years later, Shmi and her son came into the ownership of the Hutt crime lord Gardulla the Elder on Tatooine. A few months after her arrival to Mos Espa, Gardulla lost ownership of the two in a bet. Shmi and Anakin became the property of the junk dealer Watto. But soon, Anakin was freed and he left to become a Jedi. So then, Shmi Skywalker was alone. But soon after that, she was also freed from slavery when she married Cliegg Lars. Shmi Skywalker's one and only son, Anakin Skywalker, was a Force-sensitive human male who served the Galactic Republic as a Jedi Knight, and later served the Galactic Empire as the Sith Lord Darth Vader, and every Star Wars fan knows about his origin and demise. But did you guys know that when Anakin turned into Darth Vader, someone created a clone of Darth Vader using his DNA? At some point before the Battle of Yavin, Darth Vader visited ancient Jedi ruins on Dantooine, which housed an active yet unnamed cloning facility. He was ambushed by security turrets and his squad was all killed. Vader was injured during this visit and some of his blood was left in the facility. Believing that they were properly executing their programming, the experimental cloning droids running the facility created a clone of Vader using this sample. The droids then applied a mysterious technique in which they imprinted the clone with Vader's personality from the mental imprints left by the original host. However, as with other clones from the facility, this process was faulty and left the clone with only partial mental functioning and personality synchronization. Despite apparently not requiring armor similar to Vader's, the clone was dressed in a costume accurately reflecting the detail of Darth Vader's armor. The clone Vader also had a lightsaber. However, like the armor, it was merely an imitation. It produced a fake blade that simply passed through objects without inflicting any damage. Darth Vader returned to the facility after the Battle of Yavin, and Vader slew his clone in battle and briefly contemplated its nature before departing the facility. Before turning to the dark side, Anakin married Padme Amidala. Amidala became the secret wife of Jedi Knight Anakin Skywalker and the mother of Luke Skywalker and Leia Organa, who became two of the most important figures in galactic history. So, Leia was the younger twin sister of Luke Skywalker, and shortly after her birth, she became the adopted daughter of Bail Organa and Queen Breha of Alderaan, making her a princess of Alderaan. An accomplished senator, Leia Organa was most famous for her strong leadership during the Galactic Civil War and other subsequent galactic conflicts, making her one of the galaxy's greatest heroes. Later, she married Han Solo and became the mother of their 3 children, Jaina, Jacen, and Anakin Solo. Meanwhile, Luke Skywalker received Jedi training from Yoda and learned from Darth Vader that the Sith Lord was actually his father. 1 year later, he fought in the Battle of Endor and succeeded in turning his father back to the light. thanks to Luke Skywalker, Palpatine was killed and the Empire was dealt a crippling blow. Later, after a long series of failed relationships, Luke married fellow Jedi and former Emperor's hand, Mara Jade, in 19 ABY. Then, Luke Skywalker's wife gave birth to a son who they named Ben, in memory of his first mentor of the Force, Obi-Wan Ben Kenobi. Just like his father, Luke Skywalker also had a clone. Luke Skywalker's clone was grown from cells extracted from the hand Skywalker lost during his duel with the Dark Lord Darth Vader on Cloud City. Skywalker's hand and lightsaber were recovered by Vader and taken to Emperor Palpatine's Mount Tantiss storehouse on the planet Wayland. The clone was grown in a Sparty cloning cylinder over the period of less than a month, and when he was ready, the clone was given Jedi training. The clone proved to be strong. He was a great fighter who was on the same level as Luke Skywalker in terms of lightsaber combat, and he was also able to use the Force. But eventually, he was also defeated and killed during his battle with the original Luke Skywalker. Luke's son, Ben Skywalker, was born amidst the turmoil of the devastating Yuuzhan Vong War, where an extragalactic species known as the Yuuzhan Vong invaded the galaxy, laying waste to dozens of worlds. As both of his parents were Jedi, they were unable to spend time with him as they fought in the war. So Skywalker was taken care of by his aunt and uncle, former rebel heroes Han and Leia Solo. Ben Skywalker also grew up to become a Jedi Knight, and he was active mostly during the Second Galactic Civil War and the period afterward. It's unknown who Ben Skywalker married, and details about his children and grandchildren are not known as well, but it's known that Ben Skywalker had a serious romantic relationship with Vestara Kai. Vestara Kai was a Force-sensitive female human born to the Sith. She was born as a Sith, and she even tried to kill Luke Skywalker many times. But because of some circumstances, she had to work with Luke and Ben Skywalker, and slowly she started to form a bond with Luke Skywalker. We don't know anything about Ben's children and some other generations that followed them, but in future generations of the Skywalker family, Ben Skywalker later became the ancestor of brothers Nat and Cole Skywalker. Cole Skywalker was a Force-sensitive human male Jedi Master and the head of the Jedi High Council. Descended from Anakin Skywalker and Luke Skywalker, he grew to be a powerful and respected Jedi. A mission alongside Imperial agent Morrigan Cord led to love and the birth of a son, Cade Skywalker. Skywalker raised Cade on his own after Cord left to continue her Imperial career, and he eventually entrusted Cade to the care of his former apprentice, Wolf Sazon, who would also train Cade as his apprentice. Cade lived during 130 ABY and was the last surviving Skywalker of his time. Cade Skywalker was a human male bounty hunter, smuggler, and pirate who in his youth was trained as a Jedi. After his existence and unique Force powers were discovered by Sith Lord Darth Krayt, Cade was unwillingly pulled into galactic affairs, just like his ancestor Anakin and Luke Skywalker. Cade's uncle Nat was also a Skywalker, but he abandoned his and his family's name and lived his life with another name. Nat Skywalker was a human male who served as a Jedi Master during the Sith Imperial War. Born into a strong Force-sensitive family, Skywalker was a descendant of Anakin and Luke Skywalker, the older brother of Jedi Council member Cole Skywalker and uncle of Cole's son, Cade. During his time as a Jedi, Skywalker married the Kifar Drew and adopted her daughter, Anna. He also adopted a young boy named Skeeto. When the Sith Imperial War began, Skywalker helped the Jedi Order find a suitable planet, Tyvus, to build a hidden temple. After leaving the Order, Skywalker adopted the alias Bantha Rock, with his family taking the surname as well. So, these are the main family members of the Skywalker family, and all of them have served the Jedi Council in one way or another. But since the conception of Anakin Skywalker, the majority of the Skywalker family fell to or struggled with the dark side. Anakin, whose very existence was influenced by the Sith, became Darth Vader, one of the most feared Sith Lords in history. His son Luke also took his father's place as the Emperor's apprentice as a hoax for a short while. Luke's sister Leia had 3 children. Her youngest son Anakin died at an early age, and that sent his sister Jaina nearly over to the dark side before she came back from the edge of darkness. Leia's oldest son, Jason, became Darth Caedus, and unlike the other Skywalkers, Caedus did not want to be redeemed. Luke married a former Emperor's hand, Mara Jade, and their son Ben was influenced by his cousin Jason to commit an assassination and other questionable acts. Even 130 years after the rise of Luke Skywalker, his descendant, Cade Skywalker, was still dealing with his family's attraction to the dark side. Cade became an apprentice to Darth Talon in service to Darth Krayt, the new Dark Lord of the Sith. However, he abandoned this position and escaped Krayt's grasp with the help of his friends. So, perhaps the most fascinating thing about the Skywalker family was not how easily they tended to fall to the dark side, but how they eventually returned to the light. All known members of the Skywalker clan except Caedus, who fell to the dark side, returned to the light and redeemed themselves. So I think that's enough information about the Skywalker family tree, and I will definitely discuss more facts about them in some other video.